Hi friends, today I will tell you the story about a girl named Liza and a zombie that was rather unusual. Avatar World was the happiest little town Liza had ever known. Every afternoon, the kids in her neighborhood played games at the park, rode bikes, or chased butterflies in the fields. But lately, something strange had happened. It's as if something odd was happening to Avatar World behind her back. First, her best friend Mia stopped showing up to their usual play dates. Liza knocked on Mia's door every day for a week, but her mom would only say Mia wasn't feeling well. Then, Ben, her next-door neighbor, began acting very odd. One morning, he shuffled out of his house to get the mail, moving slower than usual. His skin had turned pale green, and his eyes were pure white, glowing faintly in the sunlight. "Ben, are you okay?" Liza called from her porch. Ben paused and turned to her, his movements stiff like a robot. "I'm fine," he said in a flat, lifeless tone. "Everything is better now." He walked back into his house without another word. Ben was not a man of few words. He'd always catch up on Liza whenever he got the chance to, as he was mostly busy with work. Him only exchanging a few words was very much not like him. Something was very, very wrong. Liza decided she couldn't ignore it any longer. She packed her notebook and flashlight into her backpack and headed to the park, where she usually met her friends. Just the thought of being able to hang out with her friends normally again made her want to do anything she can make sense of what was happening around her. If anyone could explain what was going on, it would be Mia. But when she reached the park, it was quiet. Too quiet. Usually there's always people hanging out, eating, drinking, and telling stories about their camping experiences. But today, it was dead silent and empty. Then, she saw them. Near the big oak tree in the center of the park, Mia was sitting on top of a log and she appeared to be in a trance. Their green skin gleamed faintly under the sunlight, and their glowing white eyes stared blankly into the distance. "Mia!" Liza called, running toward them. Mia's head turned slowly, her expression blank. "Liza!" she said, her voice flat and strange. "Come join us. Everything is better now." Liza noticed how her friend looked, and it shook her to her bones. Was she sick? Did she pour paint on herself? Liza's heart pounded in her chest. "What happened to you? Why do you look like that?" Before Mia could respond, a new figure emerged from behind the oak tree. It was taller than the other kids, with green skin that shimmered faintly and white eyes that glowed brighter than the rest. He wore tattered clothes and walked slowly, but his smile was oddly kind. "Hello," he said, his voice calm but raspy. "You must be Liza. I've been waiting to meet you." Liza stepped back, clutching her backpack straps tightly. "Who are you?" "My name is Cyrus," the figure replied, bowing slightly. "Your friends told me about you. They said you're brave." Liza glared at him. "What did you do to them?" Cyrus tilted his head, his smile fading slightly. "I helped them. They were lonely, and I brought them together. Now they're part of something special." "They don't look happy," Liza said, her voice rising. "You turned them into zombies." Cyrus's glowing eyes dimmed. "I didn't mean to scare you. I've been alone for so long. I just wanted friends." Liza's fear wavered for a moment. Cyrus didn't look angry or threatening, just sad and lonely. "You can't make friends by forcing people to join you," she said firmly. "I don't know how to stop," Cyrus admitted, lowering his gaze. "Whenever I get close to someone, they change. I didn't mean to hurt anyone." Liza's determination grew. "Then we'll fix it. If you want real friends, we have to undo this. Do you know how it started?" Cyrus nodded slowly. "There's a flower deep in the forest. It's bright white, unlike my skin. When I touched it, everything changed for me. Then that's where we'll go," Liza said, standing tall. Cyrus blinked. "You'd help me? Even after what I've done?" "Yes," Liza said. "But you have to promise not to turn anyone else into a zombie while we figure this out." Cyrus hesitated, then nodded. "I promise." The next morning, Liza met Cyrus at the edge of the woods. The forest loomed before them, dark and quiet. Liza tightened her backpack straps. "Are you sure you remember where the flower is?" she asked. Cyrus nodded. "It's near a rock shaped like a bear. I can take you there." "Then let's go," Liza said, leading the way. As they walked, something in Liza's head was telling her not to go down this path, but Liza was determined to try whatever she could for Mia. They walked in silence, the sunlight fading as the trees grew thicker overhead. Twigs snapped underfoot, and the air felt cooler the deeper they went. Liza kept glancing at Cyrus, who followed a few steps behind her, his expression unreadable. At times he seemed sad, and at times he seemed afraid. It's as if he was rethinking about his promise to Liza to find the flower. "Why did you touch the flower in the first place?" Liza asked, breaking the silence. "I didn't know what it would do," Cyrus said. "It was glowing, and I thought it was special. I didn't expect it to change me." Liza nodded. Deep down, she felt sympathy for Cyrus. He was just lonely and needed friends. "We'll figure this out. We have to." After what felt like hours, they reached a clearing. In the center stood the bear-shaped rock, and beside it was the flower. It was the most bright white flower Liza had ever seen. So much so that she couldn't even tell what type of a flower it was, but she could tell there was some sort of ominous power coming out of it. "That's it," Cyrus said, stopping a few steps away. Liza stepped closer, examining the flower. It looked beautiful, but unnatural, like it didn't belong in the forest. "What should we do with it?" she asked. Cyrus hesitated. "Last time, I touched it, and it changed me. Maybe if I touch it again, it'll reverse what happened." Liza frowned. Chances of it not working were there as well. What if it made things worse? She thought to herself. And if it doesn't? Cyrus's shoulders slumped. "Then I'll stay this way forever." Liza placed a hand on his arm. "You won't be alone, but I think it's worth a try." Cyrus nodded and reached out, his hand trembling. The moment his fingers brushed the petals, the flower's glow brightened, flooding the clearing with green light. Liza shielded her eyes, her heart pounding. When the light faded, she lowered her hands and gasped. Cyrus stood in front of her, his green skin gone and his glowing white eyes now a soft, warm brown. "It worked!" Liza exclaimed, grinning. Cyrus looked down at his hands, his eyes wide with disbelief. "I'm me again." Liza suddenly thought of the flower again. Curious as to what had happened to it after Cyrus turned normal, she glanced at it. The flower, however, was wilting. Its petals turned gray and crumbled into dust, carried away by the wind. "Is it gone for good?" Liza asked. Cyrus nodded. "I think so. The curse is broken." When they returned to the park, Liza was relieved to see Mia looking normal again. Their green skin and white eyes were gone, and they blinked as if waking from a long nap. "Liza?" Mia said, rubbing her eyes. "What's going on? I feel so weird." "It's a long story," Liza said with a laugh. Cyrus stood a few steps behind her, looking nervous. Without his green skin and glowing eyes, he looked like an ordinary boy. "Who's that?" Mia asked. "This is Cyrus," Liza said. "He's a new friend?" Mia smiled. "Any friend of yours is a friend of mine." Cyrus gave a small wave. It went better than Liza expected. Mia didn't remember anything that had taken place, and now Cyrus had a new friend. "Thank you," Cyrus said quietly, "for helping me, for giving me a second chance." Liza felt an enormous amount of happiness within her. She could barely contain it. "That's what friends do," Liza replied with a grin. From that day on, Cyrus became part of their little group, not a lonely zombie anymore, but a happy boy with real friends. But the mystery of the white flower from the bear cave still remains a mystery to this day.